And let me give you a little bit of a layout for this talk. In order to talk about all these 3 planets, I will be talking about Makemake and Haumea, the 2 that are very close in orbit to Pluto, in addition to Eris. But first, I think I have to give a little bit of background information. I call it background because my book has been out for 3 years now. A lot of people have tuned into it, and many accept the idea that Eris is important in charts. I have a very specific characterization for Eris. I call it a feminine warrior archetype. And I've come to recognize that just as Eris is way out there beyond all the other planets, far beyond Pluto, just as Pluto is way far beyond all the other planets, like, you know, even the outer planets Uranus and Neptune, Eris does refer to a very deep part of our psyche, as all these do, I believe. And that deep part of our psyche has been termed by evolutionary astrologists the soul connection. And in fact, I find that Eris is a feminine warrior archetype for soul intention. In other words, if you can find out what most deeply motivates you, then you're on the right track of having meaning for your life. You're on the right track of finding something that you can't help espousing. You cannot not do it. And you will fight for it if necessary. And that's the characterization of Eris. I'd like to demonstrate that with a couple of examples. And I'm going to try to more or less race through the Eris material, so I apologize for that. The reason I'm doing that is because this is essentially a 2-hour talk. But we're not going to take 2 hours. We're going to take 1 hour and a quarter, as Robert indicated. And so we'll kind of race through the early part of the material because I want to get to Makemake and Haumea, which is kind of, in a way, the most exciting material. It's brand new material. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of these charts. Oops. Okay, so this is a slide that shows you the sizes of some of these KBOs, or Kuiper Belt objects, including the largest ones. And Eris is slightly larger, maybe the same size as Pluto. It's denser and brighter. And so it has this first position among the KBOs, as you can see, next to, I guess that's Luna. So that's the moon, just to give you an idea of the relative size. Then you have Eris, then you have Pluto. Haumea and Makemake. Ceres is also considered a dwarf planet. It's the largest asteroid. But basically, beyond these 4, Eris, Pluto, Haumea, and Makemake, we actually have much smaller bodies out there which have not yet been designated by the IAU as planets. And I find that significant, even though it's almost accidental. There was a political move. They said Eris can't be a planet. There's too many out there like it. Let's make a new designation for Eris and for Pluto as dwarf planets. And then they named 2 others. They named Makemake first and then Haumea.